We'll go ahead and call this meeting of the USD 431 School Board to order. Roll call, everyone is present except Sarah. Item 3, approval of the agenda. I don't think we have any changes, do we?
No.
Okay. I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0. I'll count that for a minute. Okay, item 4, public comments. I don't see anyone here. So we'll move on to 5, the consent agenda. Before you, you have the July 7th regular meeting minutes, the July 24th special board meeting minutes, cash balance report, check journal, and activities account cash balance. Anybody have any questions on any of that?
Things reconciling better now that the system's all.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got rolled over into the new year and everything seems to be going well. Taylor has a better feel for everything in there. She's still learning, but as I mentioned last time at the special meeting, in the budgeting meeting, that helped her a lot to understand more of coding and things, where they go in the system. So
Sweet.
I think we're both feeling pretty good about it at this point.
Awesome.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Who did that? Tracy. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0. Sorry, gosh, I'm used to 7. That's me lying. Okay, item 6, old business. I don't think we had any this time around. 7, new business. Item A, approval of non-resident students.
You should have a list on the website for you to look at. These students range in grades and come from a variety of different places, but the principals performed the background checks on them to make sure they were in good standing, and they gave me the nod of approval form, so we are bringing those to you for your approval.
And we didn't have any in exceed of our caps or anything?
No, because that's one thing they looked at
out?
was the seat capacities.
Perfect. Good. Sweet.
We had a couple come in fairly late.
4.
Yeah,
right at the last minute.
Yeah, 4 come in very late. Just 2 families, but they'll be a great addition to our district. Those families will be.
Great.
I move to approve the list of non-resident students as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0. Item B, amended food service addendum.
So back when you guys approved the food service RFP, when you approved for OPA again for the next cycle, there would have been a food service addendum in there, which would basically, the RFP included a lot of different things, but typically on an annual basis, you'll approve the addendum, which is the prices. This new food service addendum has nothing to do with the prices. It's just a matter of when they put together the 21-day cycle menu in there, there was a clerical error, a mistake, it was missed by your guys' selection committee in OPA, and they just, typically in our school, they missed a couple of things. Typically, we serve 2 hot food items plus a salad bar. That's what they've always done. That's what it should have been included in there. But they had a couple of additional options put in there, not specific food options, a couple of food bars that we just don't have the equipment or the space, and it was just not what we were planning to do. So we had to go ahead and bring this addendum back to you just to make that change, because since it's a change to the 21-day cycle, that's got to be approved by the board, approved by OPA, and then approved by KSDE. It has been run by KSDE already. They have already approved it, but we'll just need to send a final copy back to them.
So none of those things that they listed factored into the price that they were charging us?
No. Okay. I mean, not the number of items. The meal, it's calculated on a per meal basis, okay, not having 5 items versus 3 choices.
Okay.
And I know, having been with OPA in the past in other schools, you get more than about 3 options, and that 4th option you're running into 2 or 3 items that are getting served. It's just not feasible.
We only had one option when I was in school.
Me too.
I move to approve the food service addendum as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0. All right, item 8, reports. We'll go with superintendent report.
Okay, and my report should be on there for you guys to look at. 2 items I was just gonna briefly discuss with you and give you an update in regards to our needs assessment. It's something we have to do annually. It's a requirement. KSD asked us to do that and for you guys to take a look at the needs assessment, visit about it, and then take that into consideration as we're planning and developing and approving the budget, which we've already taken most of this into account, but we do not have the needs assessment completed at this time. The principals and I are discussing this. It's one of our items. Thursday, we have an admin meeting. One of the things we're going to look at, and we will be bringing this back to you in September to look at again and or approve. There's a list of several things that there's no requirements what needs to be in the needs assessment. But these are some things that I've listed here: student needs, whether it be MTSS or just different services they offer, classroom ratios. Those are things that are taken into consideration of the needs assessment, which I've already shared a sample with the principal, so they've had an opportunity to look at it, but we need to tweak it and make it fit each one of their buildings. Some other things that we're going to look at that, or at least there's questions asked about that, would be like social emotional growth, kindergarten readiness, individual plans of study, which are the upper level kids, middle school, and more even so high school, curriculum needs, graduation requirements, some staff needs, facility needs, civic engagement. And then there'll be 3 questions on there we specifically will have to answer. The first one's that identifying barriers within your building that's going to be a barrier to progress or student academic progress. Others will be budget actions we're going to take in order to achieve or overcome those barriers. And then kind of a plan of action and how much time is that going to take. And then finally, the last thing, you guys, when you're doing your budget hearing next month, we'll certainly again readdress that needs assessment, discuss it, and understand that that's taken into consideration as the state assessment review portion of it, taken into consideration in the planning and preparation of the budget. Questions about what to expect? I mean, much of that's going to be in the needs assessment when you look at it next month.
Thank you.
Questions on the needs assessment?
Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the other one is, I believe you guys previously spoke before I arrived about live streaming board meetings. There was a legislation going through that would indicate there might be some changes, and there are some changes to live streaming of the board meetings, but nothing that's really going to impact us, because the way you guys handle this and do it already is going to be acceptable. I have reached out to attorneys at KSB to get some clarification and make sure that what we can do, and the things that were in question would have been, one, when you go to executive session, you guys, of course, we don't video or live stream executive session, but if you leave and go to another room, which is what we do, it sounds like, I haven't been through an executive session, that's fine. You either have to leave the camera running, which might be different than what we've done in the past, or the attorney did tell me if there's a message on there that says we're in executive session and we'll resume the live streaming shortly, something to that nature, so people, if they come and show up late and see that's where we're at, that's acceptable too. So if that's what we already do, we don't have to make a change there. And the feedback I got was, it is okay if your policy is to just simply live stream a main meeting, not special meetings or committee or sub meetings. So right now, the way you're handling everything seems like it's perfectly acceptable according to what the new law is.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Questions about that?
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, legislative report.
None this time of year, no.
All right, board reports, board member reports.
I do have just a quick comment that I happened to see on Facebook today. I know we've been posting a lot of meetings and stuff coming up for the school year. I was sort of wondering if maybe we could send out some all calls. There were some parents on there that were not aware of the meetings, and I know we have several of them coming up quickly. Didn't know if that was a possibility or not, or what you guys thought about that, because I know in the past there's been some parents that have missed things.
I got
because,
text messages.
yeah, I don't know
I mean, I think that could be
on that one,
awful.
but and if text messages work great, that's great too. But I just know just posting it on Facebook probably isn't the best.
Yeah, and I'm not fully aware of exactly how that happens. You guys probably do when we send out messages or alerts like that. If it's just on, are they just on social media, or do they go out through some sort of text and email through the message?
You can select them. I typically select Facebook, Twitter, email, text message, and
Okay. So it's going
Is-
out besides social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
through
That's
our
all I
district
wanted to
website.
hear was it was more than one media. So
So is that when you say you can select which ones it goes out to? But a question I'd have, because we had this same situation at Stanton County, was their settings, their preferences in how they receive information wasn't always set correctly. So sometimes they'd only get a text message, and they knew other families were getting emails. Well, they didn't have it set up that way in their own preferences, and I don't know how that works here. In our system there, that was a concern. Sometimes those could be answered by, well, we didn't have our preferences set correctly.
They're sending it one way, but the end user still has to choose.
Yes. Is that the same here as well? Okay. And sometimes that's a matter of they just got to get in touch with the buildings or you and get that changed.
yeah,
A piece to that, it was not sent out, what post I sent that had a meeting today, it was not sent through a text or a voice call, as it didn't affect a third of our students in our building. So when it's a third or more of our students who are impacted, I try not to do a call because I don't want to impact those parents and have them getting interrupted in their day. But we always do through our social media and through the district website, which sends out a notification through the app as well if they download that.
And I got notifications and text of the high school meetings today.
Yeah, I did too.
So.
And I think I may have missed your Friday note. Oh, have we addressed the barbecue for the back to school?
Nobody reached out to me. I sent that in Friday notes a couple of weeks ago that we were going to serve a staff lunch, and of course we'll invite all staff and you guys as well when we come back, but wasn't planning to offer the barbecue unless somebody spoke up and said we really want to offer the barbecue, but I've heard back from nobody. So
That was my bad, I missed that. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
What are your guys'
What are your
thoughts on
guys'
that?
thoughts on that? I mean,
the participation has decreased
it has, I've noticed
pretty
that.
much every year. It's less and less
Yeah.
and less.
I mean, when you only have.
Kind of probably depends on who you talk to, but I would think probably most of the teachers probably don't want to work all day and come back for a weekend. And come
Right.
back,
Right.
for an evening. So I'd be shocked if you have a whole lot of complaints that we don't.
Okay,
It is nice to meet all their families though.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but I think it's been drastically declining.
yeah. And a lot of times it's nice for us to put faces to, you know, the new names that we have. But in the past years, it's been so busy coming through there that we don't get to introduce ourselves anyway. So since we're serving, it kind of takes away from that. So, I mean, if everybody's okay with it, we can forego it this year.
Yeah,
And just
and maybe come up with an
Yeah, so we
alternative.
forego it, and if we have a lot of like, I wish we would have had it, we can always put it back on for
Yeah.
next year.
Or maybe we could, on an in-service day
Yeah,
or something,
or
like
something like
come
that.
join you guys for lunch or something like that, and
yeah, that's true.
In service.
Okay,
find an alternative.
sounds good.
Which might be really nice on an in-service day to meet a lot more people that way too, so.
If schedules permit, of course. Don't want to interfere with planned activities.
Okie dokie. Anything else for board members? Nothing? Okay. Move on to item 9, consideration of district personnel. You guys have the list in front of you, and it has been on the computer. Do you want to go into executive session to discuss any? sounds like a lot of time was put into schedule and making sure everything worked for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had the resignation from Cody, right? Was because he's moving up to the high school position.
That's correct. Cody, he's moving up, and it would be the same for
And
Jason
Jason.
because they're moving up. That's the only reason those two were resigning, was just to clear a vacancy to be able to hire somebody into their position.
Any questions?
I don't. They're all pretty straightforward to me. I think they make sense.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
have any questions or concerns on my end, at least.
I do not either.
Okay.
Looks good to me.
Kevin, you good? Okay. All right, is this gonna screw you up if I do it as presented? Okay. I move to approve the resignations as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0.
I'll probably just list them and like, who's resigning. I mean, I'll put it in there. With all the extras.
Okay, so even the same with this, you've got it all written down.
I'll
so
probably
you
just
can-
leave it like this and.
Okay.
Yeah, just.
I move to approve the nominations as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Passes 6-0.
It's nice to see Wyatt coming back to the area.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
All right. Any other concerns, questions? I knew this was going to be a fast meeting. I didn't know it was going to be this fast, but okay. I move to adjourn.
I'm getting way too spoiled.
I know, right? It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Passes 6-0. Thank you all.